Welcome to the Angel Mystic Podcast. I am super excited you are listening because this is where spiritually open minds can come together to explore the wonders of angels, spiritual connections, and the art of manifesting. Hosted by me, Amanda Tooke, the Angel Mystic, your spiritual midwife to help you on your journey to a fulfilling and happy life. You may have seen me on ITV, Channel 4, or even in Fate and Fortune magazine. In each episode, we will delve into the mystical world of angels, offering you insights, guidance, practical tools to deepen your connection with the upstairs so that you can find inner peace, happiness, joy, and create the life that you want. Tune in for weekly, fun conversations, transformational insights that will elevate your spiritual journey and awaken your inner mystic. Please hit subscribe now as we embark on a transformational adventure with the Angel Mystic Podcast. Before we delve into the podcast this week, I just want to remind you that we are starting Angel Summer School on the 15th of July. There's a couple of places left, and if you're wanting one, check it all out. It's in the show notes. It's a 6-week short course to deepen your connections with your angels, all running on Zoom. I normally run this annually, but last year I didn't, and it was really missed and people asked for it again. So if you want to come and join us and take your connections with your angels to the next level, go and have a look. And now let's get on with the podcast. Welcome back to the Angel Mystic Podcast. And today I have got a special guest with me. This is a wonderful lady called Fiona Porter. And this episode is all about letting the angels guide you. I've known Fiona for a few years now. I think it was 2021 when she first came into my world, taking part in Angel Summer School for one of the things that you did. And then you went on to do some coaching with me, and watching your life transform in the last 3 years has been incredible. So welcome, Fiona. I'm delighted that we're getting to chat and seeing what's happening for you.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm super excited about this. A topic that we're both passionate about.
We are indeed. Angels, you just doesn't get any better than that, does it really?
No.
We are more than high vibing right now talking about angels. It's just fantastic. So I'm going to talk about you when I first met you and the things that I've noticed about you as your life has sort of rolled out. So you took part in the 2021 Angel Summer School, which is a 6-week angel program. And at the time, you were working still in your role as NHS. You were still doing mental health nurse, weren't you?
Yeah.
And it was a lot of the sessions, the weather was very nice and you were sat in your garden. And
I was.
Yeah. And I can remember you sitting in your garden chatting. And I just remember the questions that you brought to the session, you had this amazing sense of wonder and you asked really great questions. You knew things were coming together for you and you were trying to join up the dots and work it all out. I also remember that you had this, I don't want to do NHS anymore. I'm so sort of drained by the whole of that energy. And you still wanted to do healing, and had you done your Reiki 1 and Reiki 2 at that point?
And Reiki 3. Yeah. I did. I've done all 3 by that point. Yeah.
And you were wanting to move into doing Reiki as, well-being for people. And you came up with the name for your business, which is all about resilience, Reiki, and well-being. That's
right.
You're known as. And it is just been a pleasure to see you just keep stepping up. And, you've had your wobbles. I've seen you wobble where you've oh my goodness, am I doing the right thing? I haven't, because we did one-to-one coaching as well. And you've had those times when you thought, oh, where's my next money coming from? Am I going to be able to, make this work? But here you are today. And you've got a great business. I've had the pleasure of having distance Reiki with you, and I know you're awesome at what you do. And you are you're passionate about angels, but you're really passionate about Reiki as well, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah,
Could you tell us,
110%.
could you tell us a little bit about Reiki before we start getting into angels for people?
Yeah, so I'm really passionate about the Reiki because it's, for me, everything is energy. Like my understanding of like energy has really massively grown, especially over the last 3 years. And just really understanding that, we are energetic beings, everything around us is energy and we're connected. And I think understanding that because we are energetic beings, we can often be a magnet for energy and great energy and not so great energy. So with Reiki, it's just such a beautiful, non-invasive treatment where it allows the person who's receiving the Reiki to have, blockages that they didn't know that were there, that were stored in the mind, body, and soul. And it allows a clearing with that. So many people come to me, with their well-being. And, I have experience obviously of working as a mental health nurse for 24 years and also as a therapist. So I know there's a lot of power in talking. I get that. But also there's so much more power I feel in like energy healing. And I always say to people, my clients, like, it's not me who are healing you. Yes, I am the vessel with the energy, but it allows people to kind of, heal themselves. And often, obviously, we know that, energy can get stuck and it can manifest. And we know that we hold kind of like emotions on a cellular level. If you hold lots of negative emotions, that can cause inflammation. Then inflammation can possibly cause disease. So it is just a beautiful way of like looking after yourself holistically, because I'm all about the holistic approach with well-being. So looking after your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual health. And what's the other one? Have I said mental health? So it's all about kind of like clearing that energy and just really understanding that we need to be a free flow for that energy to go through us. And you've taught me a lot about like energy when, I was working with you. And now I'm so much more aware of energy and where I place my energy as well. And being able to share that knowledge with clients is just absolutely phenomenal. I love it. Yeah.
So
and the results that people get.
Who do you work with? Who's, the sort of people that you help?
It's really quite open. It's predominantly females, although I do have male clients as well. But usually people come to me if they are struggling with their well-being. So whether, a lot of people I get for pain management, that is often a huge one, or kind of like with their mental health where they are, feeling really quite low in mood, and that's affecting things like their sleep. They've got no motivation, they've got no energy. And people need to understand it's all about the energy, isn't it? And I remember you teaching me that when I was burnt out a few years ago within nursing. And you said to me something on the lines of, you're not just physically tired. And at the time I was like, no, I am. I'm really drained. You were like, no, it's so much more than that. So that helped me to really explore what that actually means for me. So yeah, my clients are pretty much anyone who's open to using holistic treatment as part of their wellbeing package. And I love that.
I can remember in one of our sessions, you were feeling a little bit deflated because it was in that, those crazy years, those COVID years, and people kept cancelling on you because, for whatever reason, they got a bit of a sniffle and they didn't want to spread any germs and all of that. And I said to you, why don't you do remote sessions? Why don't you do distance healing? And I can remember you like looking at me like, well, I mean, I know because I had to do Reiki 2 twice to get my head around that you can do it distance. So I understand, where you were coming from. But I remember you going, oh, okay, I could try that. And I know you do a lot of remote stuff now as well, don't you?
Yeah, I have half my clients, they are distant. Like yesterday, I had several clients. One came face to face, one was a distant client. And it's allowed me to work with people all over the world. And it is incredible, isn't it? Like the distant, that still blows my mind more than kind of like the face to face stuff. Because yesterday, what I picked up with this lady, and she didn't give me very much, information about herself. And I was absolutely spot on. It was interesting because she came to me because of pain. And actually, it was far more than physical pain. There was a lot of emotional pain that she didn't have any insights to. And I think that's, again, one of the many beauties of, the distant Reiki, that you can connect. We can all connect because we're all one consciousness, aren't we?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I did have a session with you. I remember I was feeling a bit um needing like a bit of a top up, and I thought Fiona is a woman, and I booked in with you. And I can remember I was lying on my bed at the time, and it was a lovely, lovely session. It really did help, and you picked up so much. You're very intuitive with this. You're very, yeah, you're good. There's
Yeah.
In all industries, there's good and bad, isn't there? But you're definitely, excellent at what you do. You really are. So
Yes,
tell us a
thank
little
you.
bit about your angel adventures, because, from going back did you know anything about angels before you came to Angel Summer School, or were you just starting out then? I can't quite remember.
Yeah, I think I've always been able because I would describe myself as a spiritual person. So I've always believed in angels, but I guess that catapulted me like the angel summer school about really understanding more about kind of like the role of angels and you taught us how to, build that relationship with I call them our team. So I have spirit guides and I also have kind of like my angel guides. And you taught me how to tune into that, tune in into the intricacies of like the angels who are completely around you. And now that's something that I implement every single day. So whether that's in my professional life or that's in my personal life. And just recently with my professional life, I've started to see angels a lot more actually within my treatments. And I'm getting goosebumps just saying that kind of right now. And I'm also interested in doing like my angelic Reiki training because these are becoming more apparent in, the sessions. And obviously the relationship I have with my angel guides is so strong, so strong. And yeah, it's just part of my daily life. Like you've always said, haven't you, since the moment kind of like I met you, about how helpful that they are. And I think everybody just needs to know about this
Yeah,
because they're there all the time. They're
yeah,
there all the time, and oh, they're amazing.
they are amazing. So your guardian angel, what's their name?
Gabrielle, and I know that you said that they don't not meant to have like male or female tendencies, but mine is definitely male. When we did that meditation a few years ago, and I saw him so clearly, we did a meditation where were walking along the beach and sat on a bench, and he was there like immediately, and he's absolutely huge. He's got the biggest wings, and he's really handsome, and he reminds me a bit of Billy Connolly. I know I've said that to you before, but it's the wings. These just absolutely beautiful, stunning kind of like wings, and like the calmness that he has. And yeah, I feel him a lot. I've learned again how to, tune into the feelings of especially him,
Yeah,
especially him being around. And I get the on my face, it's like spider's web,
yeah.
kind of
Tickle.
like the twinkles, on my face. I've got somebody at the moment kind of like touching the back of my head as
Yeah, they're
well.
touching my nose now as you're
Yeah, I'm
saying.
touching my nose as well. I've got like a really itchy nose, and so kind of on my cheeks. They're definitely confirming right now. But it took time to recognize that. I think part of the work with working with angels is really tuning into that because obviously they've been there all the time, but I never knew what it was like to understand those subtleties
Yeah.
of when your angels are around. Does that
And they
make
are,
sense?
yeah, absolutely. They are very, very subtle and so easy to miss, aren't they?
Yeah.
You could just give your nose a rub and crack on with your day and think, oh, I haven't even noticed that sign. Or you're rushing out the door, you don't notice that little feather that's on the step for you. And it's so easy to miss all those signs. It really is. But when we start, paying attention to that and tuning into that, that's when life starts to get a lot more easier, doesn't it? A lot more flowing. And yeah.
Supportive. Like I find mine really supportive. So every morning and before I go to bed, I always, greet them with love and thank them. I think for me, it's really important to thank them even when you're not asking kind of like for assistance.
Mm,
Because I think some people maybe, I don't know if they do, maybe think that you only need to speak to your angels, ask for guidance when things are, really difficult. But I I don't. I like to have them in my everyday life and just thank them regardless whether it's been, a great day or not so great day.
well, gratitude certainly helps everything, doesn't it? Do
Yeah.
you said before that you saw, and you can see your guardian angel. And of course, he uses the name Gabriel because that name works for you, and they'll use whatever name works for every individual, because your guardian angel is communicating with you the way that you need it. Obviously, you don't always see them, but you do always feel them, sense them, know them. You're always experiencing them around you, aren't you?
Yeah, all the time. And the advice I'd give to anybody is about tuning into those subtleties, because, well, I would love to seem like, right in front of me or right next to me all the time, but it's not. It's about using your senses. And often I feel when he's like really tuned into him, like, a bit of coldness. It's again like using all your senses, isn't it? Whether you can feel them, whether you can hear them, whether you have thoughts that are confirmation that they're there, or, noticing like changes in temperatures. I never knew that before like doing the work with you, that it is about the subtleties of, and they must get really frustrated at times because they're there to help you and to guide you and to love you and support you. And so many people don't get that, do they? They don't understand that they've got a whole bloody team of them right around them right now to help them.
I know. But we think that they're frustrated, but of course they're not humans. They don't have those sort of emotions. And, they never get annoyed or upset with us, whatever we do. They know that we are not angels, that they are the angels. We are human, and we're having this human reality, which isn't always easier, but it is so much easier with your angel supporting you. Now, you've recently travelled, haven't you? Can you tell us a little bit about that and how the angels with all of that?
Yeah, again, I've got real tickles on my cheeks. So back in back in January, I decided, I woke up one morning and just had the download of, I need to go to Uganda to do some volunteering. And like I said to you, I just got these specific dates in mind, from the 7th of March to the 28th. And so I just trusted that. So whether that was my spirit guides or whether that was my angels communicating with me, not entirely sure, but I went with that. So I had never in my life gone solo female traveling, especially not to Africa. And there was a lot of concerns around me, not from me, because my intuition absolutely screamed out that this was going to be one of the most amazing things I ever do in my life. And a lot of concerns around me because people thought the worst that was going to happen. But that intuitively, that was not what I tuned into. And as I said to the people around me, if I one moment get that horrible feeling that this is the wrong thing for me to do, I won't. So I asked my spirit guides and my angels to come with me, and they did. And I just asked like for protection. And I showed you earlier on that I've got a badge that somebody kind of gave to me, which was like a guardian angel badge. Not as though you need a badge for confirmation, but it was like all about protection. And I took that everywhere with me, and I didn't have one difficulty whilst I was out there. And I could sense that they're with me, especially, Gabriel with the great big wings that he has around me is a protection. And it was the best thing that I've ever done in my life. The most profound experience of my life. It was beautiful.
How did it change you?
It's changed me because it's just really made me question my life. It's questioned who I am. Because out there, the energy, we're all about the energy as well. And it was such a beautiful, calm, inviting energy. That was the start, but also the people. And because materialistically, they have very, very little. And this gets me emotional because they were the kindest, most genuine, most authentic people I've ever come across. Because I guess when you strip away all the material stuff, all you have is who you are. And people would just go out of the way to be kind, generous, fun. They have a really high vibration out there. Like it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of joy. And going back to the kindness, even when I was volunteering, like with the children, they were just so generous. Like every day there would be a queue of them, and they would line up wanting to give me their porridge for the day.
Oh.
And it chokes me even now because it was so incredible, because I've never experienced that ever. And, the little that they had, they would still give that. So it's just really made me question absolutely everything. And it's just confirmed to me that I definitely 110%, I am going to go traveling and I'm going to do more volunteering work, because it ignited passion within me. It ignited fulfillment. It just ignited something so amazing, that fire in your belly. It was just unbelievable. And I am not the same person before I went out. And I knew that it was going to be profound, but I had no idea just on what levels. So coming back has been, I don't know if the word is difficult, but just I've had to readjust, or actually, take away those nuggets of information of, what I've learned out there and how do I implement in my life, daily.
Yeah. I can imagine.
And so my guardian angel, Gabriel, he's been freaking amazing. Because I often ask for hugs off him, and it's almost like I can feel his massive wings. He envelops me, and I find that really comforting. It's like a physical sensation. I truly believe, Amanda, that he has these great big wings around me just to say, I've got you, I'm holding you. And they're really, and with like my angels, what I've found as well, even when I get frustrated myself with what are the answers, I'm able just to hand it over to the angels, just hand it over to them. And it stops me from getting really stressed. It calms my mind, because I just know that they can hold that space for me when I'm trying to figure things out.
They are incredible, absolutely incredible.
Yeah, they are. And I think we said, I use angel cards every day, and I just pick out kind of one card a day, what is my message today? And, I'll pick out and I'll trust that card. Or, ask them for some signs, and again, those are the things that you need to take note of, aren't they? The subtle signs, whether it's they often communicate for me through the radio, through presenting a song, and I'll be like, oh my God, or I'll just be sitting there asking, and I will just get a song in my head. For me, songs are quite important. That's the way that they communicate. And I think, where's that song come from? And then I listen to the words. I'm like, okay, yeah, here we are.
So going back to when you used to work in the NHS, because I do hear from a lot of people, a lot of clients that are really struggling in that environment. It's become quite a difficult place to work, I think, at the moment, at the NHS for people. If you had any advice for someone that is in that environment and feeling the tug of perhaps leaving it and stepping out of, what they thought they would probably do for the rest of their life, what advice would you have?
Yeah. Well, just to clarify, I never worked for the NHS, actually. It was a private organisation. It's not that is really relevant. But just to give people hope, hope that there is something different out there. So, my story was that, I was extremely burnt out, and I was very conditioned, Amanda, to really truly believing that I would be a nurse for the rest of my life, and that's all I could do. And, taking that step back and actually, investing in life coaching. And that's why I'm just about to launch my life coaching for women who are in that position where they want to do something different. They know that they're no longer aligned. And I always say to people, because for me, the first thing that came was courage, and then confidence comes afterwards. That was it for me. And obviously we went out, and I'm still on that journey, creating my own business. If someone had said to me 3 years ago, Fiona, you're going to leave nursing and create your own successful wellbeing business, I wouldn't have been able to believe that. But actually walking the walk, knowing that, it does take the courage before the confidence comes. But deep down, don't you? Intuitively. I think we all have that ability to know if something is no longer aligned with us.
Yeah.
Take that step back, do that I call it blue sky thinking, of where what would your dream life be like? What would it really be like? Does it match where you are right now? And often that gives you the answer, doesn't it? If it's incongruent, if you're not in alignment. And to give people hope that, you can step out of something that you're unhappy with, whether that is a relationship, that's a job that you don't love, whatever it is for you, you can step out You've
Mhm.
just got to have the courage, the first C, definitely.
And the courage comes as well with your angels. Your angels will give you that courage to step up, step out and do something different, won't they? They will hold you.
They absolutely 110% like hold you. And I'm very, very grateful for the teams that I have like for me, because they do hold that space. And
Mm,
that, because I think we have a very human experience, don't we? And we all have wobbles. We all have wobbles.
mm,
But if you can just trust in your angels that they have got you 110%,
mhm.
that they're going to support you and love you, kind of like you said, like no matter what decision that you make. And at times, you probably won't make the wisest of decisions, but they are still 110% there just to, yeah, support.
Yeah, and often people think that the angels are going to tell you what to do. I don't think the angels do sort of tell us what to do the way that we think. I mean, you can get those, really profound downloads like you've got, dates to go to
Mm,
Uganda and stuff. But quite often we can be sitting on the fence with something. Should I do something or should I not do something?
hmm
And either way, you can't make a wrong decision, because if you do something, you're either going to get what you think you're going to get, or you're going to get what you need in terms of lessons and learnings. And
hmm
either way, your angels are there with you. And when you have that, you just feel like, well, let's do it. Let's just trust. And I think the way that you've gone around it has been really, really good, because if you'd have sort of gone, well, I'll just go part-time and I'll still do, the nursing, but I'll also start to do my business on the side, you never would have had full energy to put into your business. I
hmm
can remember the conversations that we had when you were in Angel Summer School. Shall I quit or shall I not quit? You were like, what shall I do? What shall I do? Do I just need a rest and all of this?
Yeah.
Then you went, I'm giving it up. That's it. I'm going, and I still see you sat in your garden in my head when I think about you. Um, I'm going to do it. And I thought, yes, what a bold move. And I love that. And I love how that's worked out for you. I mean, let's be honest, in business, it's never, all plain sailing. There's lots of things that we have to navigate and stuff, but you are, you can just see from your energy and feel you're just a different person, and life is working out really well for you. I'm so pleased that you had the courage to do that, because if you
Thank you.
hadn't, other people are missing out on your service to the world, aren't they? Um,
Yeah, kind of like what my true purpose is,
yeah.
because there's still so many elements of nursing that obviously that I take forward in my business. I don't forget the 24 years of being a nurse and as a therapist, but it's just putting a different hat on, isn't it? And I think fear often holds us back, and I utilize my kind of like angel team for that with fear. And I think fear has to become one of your best friends when you're stepping into the unknown. But if it gets too much, I just hand it over to the angels, and ask them kind of like to hold that for me. And
Yeah.
that just kind of soothes my system.
Yeah.
That's the way that I utilize them.
Good.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
when you talk about Gabriel and him giving you the hugs and stuff, do you ever see him as a colour, or do you just
It
see
was white.
he was
He
white?
was very white. He was completely, well, no, his hair wasn't white. He had like long dark hair, but no, it was like very white.
Right.
Yeah. Probably, traditional way that you see an angel, but I know what I saw and I know what I do see every now and then.
Yeah.
And like I said, like with my Reiki, I'm starting to see groups of angels far more.
Yeah. So what did Angel Summer School give you? What did it?
It just gave me the confidence to obviously connect with my angels. And like I was saying earlier on about, understanding the subtleties of knowing that they are there. And I'm sure people experience their angels, very, very differently. Um, or it's open to people experience them differently. But it just gave me the confidence of, getting to know them. And, my relationships with them have like massively, massively grown.
Mm,
And you talked about like the cards, because we did card reading, didn't we? Because obviously you've got your own cards, and it's got me to really trust in the cards that I pull out for me,
mhm.
because I 110% believe that that is kind of like the message. And sometimes our human brain wants to like ignore that or dismiss it or wants to change the answer, but I totally believe that you always, pull out the right card. And you taught us that about how to, interpret the card yourself, because you get a little booklet. So I don't know if you do with your cards, but I always think, what does that mean to me?
Yeah, I say throw away the booklet and use them intuitively, because one message cannot be for every single person, and the cards are just a tool for you to go a little bit deeper. It's like a starting place, and for you
Yeah.
to tune into that and see what you really meant to know from that card and that message. Yeah, good on
Yeah.
you. Good on
I
you.
pulled out the perfect timing card today for this session.
Oh, really?
And yeah, it was perfect timing. And mine have a few words actually on the cards, but it was all about, you're in perfect alignment with everything that you're meant to be in alignment with. Because I think sometimes we doubt it, don't we, when things we feel are not going as they should do. I mean, I always believe like the universe has our back, and these lessons are here for a reason. But yeah, when it was talked about alignment today, I got goosebumps. So I was like, yes, I understand that is a really apt message for me today.
Oh, brilliant. So have you got, before we finish, one little bit of advice that maybe you've been given or that you've got yourself that you want to pass on to the listeners?
In terms of the angels,
Anything that comes to mind that you want to share right now.
so what comes to mind is about building that relationship with your angels, because they are there. They are wanting to kind of, for you to acknowledge them and for them to be part of your life. And really understanding what's coming to my psyche is just what we were talking about. If you're wanting to make a change in your life, definitely courage comes before confidence. And just to know that anything is possible, dare to dream. Don't be one of those people who like lives their life when they're feeling that it's mundane, that they're not feeling fulfilled, they're not feeling passionate about something. Because sometimes we feel that it's easier to do that, isn't it? We can, what I call like the hamster wheel of doom. It's sometimes we feel that it's easier to do that, but I guess I'm one of the many people out there that can give hope that, once you step out of your comfort zone, bigger, better things are just kind of like attracted to you, law of attraction stuff. Know that you can do whatever you set your mind to, whatever you're not aligned with now. There's always ways to be aligned with something else. 110%.
Oh, great advice. Thank you, Fiona. It's been lovely catching up with you, and
Thank you.
can't wait to see what else, happens for you and where you end up in the world, because obviously you've got travel as your priority now.
Yeah, well, ensuring that I have a online holistic wellbeing business, that is my next step. The launching of the empowered, it's called empowered, like working with me for like 12 weeks, like the life coaching that you did with me was just absolutely invaluable, because it allows you to step back, doesn't it, and to be coached and be mentored with somebody, because the desire or the fear for you to go backwards,
Yeah.
go back to what the comfort, I think it's really important to have that person there to be able to support you.
Yeah, because you can't see your own blind spots, can you? That's the thing.
Not at all. And you said some, difficult things, when the sessions that we had, because it allows you to think, doesn't it? To think outside the box, because again, we're often conditioned in a certain way to live our life in a certain steady way, but that might not be for you. Yeah.
Well, good luck with all of that. I'm sure you'll be amazing at it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and people will be lucky to have that service from you. So till next time, Fiona, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Amanda. Thank you.
I'll put in the show notes where people can find you, but you are on social media, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Resilience, Reiki and Wellbeing in most places. And on TikTok, you're Miss Universal Energy.
I am. Yeah, which I love that. Just like working with energy, it just blows your mind, doesn't it?
It does. All right. Thank you, Fiona. Bye for now.
All right. Thank you very much.
I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If so, please hit follow and share my message by sharing with your friends. It would be amazing if you can leave a review. All this will help, and it activates a universal law of the more you give, the more you receive. So it's a win-win. You can find more good stuff between episodes over on social media. Just search The Angel Mystic on Facebook, Instagram or TikTok, or check out the links in the show notes. I'd love for you to connect more over in my free group in Abundance Manifesting, all on Facebook. Hope to see you there.